Well, India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has arrived in New York to represent India at the annual United Nations General Assembly session. Sushma Swaraj is expected to hold more than 20 bilateral and trilateral meetings with leaders who are attending this session. The other focus areas for India will, of course, be the reform of the United Nations and the United Nations Security Council, action to curb further climate change and peacekeeping. Her address at the United Nations General Assembly is scheduled for the morning of the 23rd of September. The minister is also likely to meet Pakistani Foreign Minister Khwaja Asif later next week on the sidelines of the summit. Both the leaders are also likely to participate in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit and the SAARC group meetings on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session. The Pakistan Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi will also be present during this session, and it remains to be seen whether there will be any sort of interaction between India's External Affairs Minister and the Pakistani Prime Minister.
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि अभी तक मुझे इसकी कोई जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन जैसा मैंने बताया कि अगर रीजनल मीटिंग्स में पाकिस्तानी फॉरेन मिनिस्टर हैं तो उस संदर्भ में हो सकती है, लेकिन ऐसे बायलैटरल मीटिंग की मुझे कोई जानकारी नहीं है.
Well, Sushma Swaraj will also be meeting US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson for the first time on the sidelines of the annual UN General Assembly meet, and counter-terrorism will, of course, is expected to dominate the discussions between the two leaders. She'll also be attending a multilateral meeting which will be chaired by US President Donald Trump on the issue of reforming the United Nations body. Now, previewing India's participation in the Assembly session, Indian Ambassador to the United Nations Syed Akbaruddin has said that it was built around 5 pillars, that is UN reform, counter-terrorism, migration, climate change and UN peacekeeping missions. Now, these are the 5 pillars on basis of which India will be taking its participation in the United Nations forward.
लाभ का दौर चला है तो यूएन में भी बदलाव होना चाहिए, ये हमारा पहला बड़ा मुद्दा है. दूसरा मुद्दा है टेरर. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, आतंकवाद आजकल की दुनिया में एक बहुत ही अहम मुद्दा है जो एशिया ही नहीं, भारत ही नहीं, लेकिन हर मुल्क के लोगों को इससे परेशानी होती है. तो ये दूसरा है. तीसरा है क्लाइमेट चेंज. और आप जैसे जानते हैं, भारतीय सैनिक पीस कीपिंग कर रहे हैं कई अफ्रीकन देशों में, तो पीस कीपिंग एक और मुद्दा होगा. तो ये 4-5 बड़े मुद्दे हैं.